Act 4, The Next Champ. And now, Bill Ritter.
Pro wrestlers call this the squared circle. To me, it's a ring, but a more accurate description might be a stage. And it's from a stage like this that pro wrestling has become the hottest entertainment on cable television. 12 hours of prime time every week. But for a lot of fans, that's not enough. They want to get from out there to in here. And so, believe it or not, they're enrolling in wrestling school. Dozens of them are sprouting up across the country. But exactly how do you learn the ropes? Well, I decided to find out.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Today's pro wrestling is a high-flying, high-energy thrill ride. As it's always been, the outcome is scripted. But what goes on in the ring is now more outlandish and to some more offensive than ever before. Maybe that's one reason why wrestling has exploded into a $500 million a year industry and turned the sport's biggest ringmasters into multimillionaires revered by legions of frenzied fans.
Wrestling is just something I've loved for so long.
Right in the middle of the ring.
Now some kids who once dreamed of playing center field dream of wrestling in center ring. Meet Neil Bisbiak and Jesse Gilmet.
You know that in your heart what you want to go for, and you got to put all that aside, you know, and just go for the dream.
After graduating high school in Buffalo, and instead of going to college, they moved to Cincinnati and enrolled in wrestling school.
Hey, all right, Jesse.
They'll each pay $2,500
Hey, good. Have a seat, you guys.
to attend Les Thatcher's main event pro wrestling camp. For the next 6 months, the ring will be their classroom. Lesson number 1.
Nice. Pretty. Good. Good. One more. Nice.
Learning how to fall.
It's definitely not as soft as you think. It does hurt. It takes its toll on you.
The key is to land on your shoulders. They absorb the impact and protect your neck, head, and back.
There you go.
Les Thatcher is a former pro wrestler. He's been in the business for nearly 40 years. His student body comes from all walks of life,
Keep that upper body up. You're
but
going
each
with it.
has the same dream.
Get your balance
I know
up
that
like that.
it's the first time in my life that I've really found something which I consider to be my own really true purpose.
23-year-old Nigel McGuinness is from Kent, England. One day he hopes he'll lace up his boots for real and wrestle in front of a crowd. He spent the last year and his entire bank account studying at Les's school.
I've got a college degree in chemistry. I always thought, you know, at the end of the day, you need something to fall back on. But like I said, it would be fooling because it's not what I love. And there's been times where I've got out of the ring and there's been tears in my eyes just from being so happy.
Now, it's one thing to love it,
Oh, get an arm.
but quite another to do it. That's 24-year-old Craig Zellner, and from where I sit, he may be one of the toughest guys on the planet.
Played a couple years in college football. I went to then boxing, no holds barred shoot fighting. In most ways, this is a lot tougher.
So what's up when he says wrestling is the hardest thing he's ever done? I've always thought this is all just a show, a big fake.
Well, sure, because unless you've lived under a rock the last 15 years, of course it is. It's entertainment.
If we had had this discussion 10 years ago and 15 years ago, it would have been scandalous.
Yes, it would have. What I would have said to you is, Bill, if you don't believe what I do is real, join me in the ring for a few minutes and I'll convince you. You got to realize we sold it as real.
I think this is fake.
You think it's fake? My 2020 colleague John Stossel found that out firsthand in 1985.
You think it's fake?
For years, John suffered ear pain from those blows. Good thing for me, wrestling's secrets are now out of the closet. So are these guys actors or are they athletes?
I think they're a combination of both. They're good athletes. They're good entertainers. They need good personalities.
It's got to look like a good show. Suspend their disbelief.
The sell is more important than the slam. And here's how they do it.
How much harder will you hit the net? Not a lot.
It's all body language. Take a look. The punches either miss their mark or land lightly. And that thump you hear? Just the wrestler's foot, stomping the mat. What about this devastating knee? Sure looks convincing, but watch again. Cody averts disaster by just rolling over Bull's knee. Then he delivers the hard sell. Now, when you link all these moves together...
All right, here's a spot. Listen up.
That's called a spot.
Collar and elbow. Babyface takes the headlock. Heel shoots him.
And it involves just slightly less choreography than a Broadway musical.
Heel sets up for the backdrop. Babyface leapfrogs. Keeps going, hits the ropes, flying across body. Work your way to your feet. Shoots a couple elbows. Takes off for the ropes. Shoots the clothesline.
This is wrestle speak.
Hits him with one drop kick.
And you need to speak it.
Two drop kicks.
Fluently.
Cover, hook the leg. 1, 2, 3.
To me, it's like a big live-action cartoon, a melodrama.
Nice, good.
Between the ropes,
Good,
and the
tight.
script is written on the fly.
While he's got me in a headlock, I'm going to call this spot. I'm going to say,
My hands will be covering his mouth.
he's covering my mouth. No one can see me talk.
All these guys want to sit on the couch and say, oh, I can do that, it's all fake. It takes a lot of mental work, a lot of ring work, a lot of timing.
I graduated college with a 3.8 grade point average, so, and I'm still not smart enough. I'm still learning.
That still hurts.
I didn't say that none of this didn't hurt. I just said it's a show.
And like any show, you have to look the part.
The trouble is, you can probably tell I'm a little bit undersized at the moment. You have to spend hours in the gym. You have to spend hours in the kitchen. I've got 8 chicken breasts there, a steak, and a couple of cans of tuna. You can always improve. And you can always eat more tuna. No matter how sick you feel, you can always eat more.
You got it, baby. You got it. Stay tight.
Once you've got the body and know the moves, you need a character.
We use your New Mexico background. This ferocious competitor, right? That's, you know, like meditates in the deserts of New Mexico or, you know.
But even if you have the body and a character, you'll never be a superstar if you can't give good interviews. That hypes the drama and sells tickets.
But The Rock is cooking.
The top pros have it down pat.
I will always be a kiss-stealing, woo, wheeling-dealing, 2-time limousine ride, 2-time son of a gun, heavyweight champion of the world.
I'm going to take you down, Todd.
But for most rookies,
Practice interviews.
this is not a natural act.
Well, Bradley, it's not going to take much. It's going to take...
I'm coming here for my first match in the HWA.
I'm just...
So Les gives them some tips on how to talk the talk.
Put it in your words, but know your key points before you go on camera.
McGuinness is in it for one reason.
Nigel McGuinness, this punk from England wants to call me out?
I'm going to show you that the English let you have this country because we were bored of it.
He better start drinking his milk, find a work ethic, and find a weight room before he even wants to step in the ring with me.
McGuinness is in it to win it. Remember that.
What we're doing is no different than Cecil B. DeMille or a good director.
Nigel and Craig are training for their biggest lesson yet, wrestling before a crowd. We'll see you a little later.
My ultimate achievement in this is to go straight to the top, which is the World Wrestling Federation, World Championship Wrestling.
How many guys can actually make it in this business?
Possibly 5%, possibly 10%. You know, you could parallel it with, let's say, minor league baseball.
And this is the majors, the World Wrestling Federation and its competitor, Time Warner's World Championship Wrestling. And inside WCW headquarters in Atlanta is the power plant.
Ready.
The guy barking orders is called Sarge. It's a combination boot camp and casting call for the big show. Thousands apply, only a couple dozen are invited in.
It's just a dream come true.
Dean Roll, who wrestles as Shark Boy, is an alumnus of Les Thatcher's school in Cincinnati. The WCW saw him in a match
Oh, baby, he nailed it.
and signed him to a development contract.
You got to be really tough, or you're not going to make it through the 1 week here.
Together! I watch every little thing they do. Go!
Paul Orndorff runs the... You may remember him as...
Mr. Wonderful!
These days, he's looking for stars.
What I look first is athletically. How do they move? I like intensity. Keep it going! Who said to stop?
What surprised me is that here, size doesn't always matter. As long as you're really good.
You're the man!
You got 25 people in this camp right now.
Roughly.
How many are going to make it?
I wish they all could.
How many will?
Maybe 6.
I just have to think that I'm one of those 6. Because I'm not going to quit. I want to be one of those people more than anything.
A few weeks ago, Dean got his big break.
His opponent is a 24-year-old youngster from Ohio by the name of Dean Roll.
Wrestling for the first time on national TV. Without his shark mask.
Believe me, this kid's nervous. And again,
It's tough to know who the crowds will respond to. And even with its top-notch facilities, the power plant has had problems creating stars. But there have been some success stories.
look at Bill Goldberg. The 23 years that I've been in this business, I haven't seen anybody that got over with the fans so quick.
I am one of the leading characters in a male soap opera.
He may have an accountant's name, but former pro football lineman Bill Goldberg is the hottest property in the WCW and the power plant's most famous graduate.
I'm the same person in the ring that I was on the football field. People pay money to see me spear somebody, pick them up in the air, and jackhammer them. And then give the growl that I give. I look at the audience, I look at my opponent in the ring, and I just get this close to killing him.
Well, we'll be tomorrow night for nothing. Who's left? Who's next?
For the corporations that control wrestling, finding the next Goldberg is the big challenge, which is precisely what motivates guys like Nigel McGuinness and Craig Zellner back in Cincinnati. Tonight, their first public matches. This is wrestling's backwater, the independent circuit, where most wrestlers will spend their careers.
All right, it goes here.
There's no glitz, no glamour, no TV lights. On a good night, maybe 200 people will show up. And for their efforts, most of these guys will make little more than gas money. There's no health insurance.
I want you to listen.
No guarantees. Craig debuts in a tag team match.
I do believe that he's going to be a very, very good professional wrestler.
There's nothing to be nervous about. I'm nervous. I'm sick as a dog, I know that, but I'm not sure whether that's due to the chicken or the fact that I'm going to go and wrestle my first match.
In the locker room, they plot out Nigel's script.
As he comes back, boom, catch him with that super kick, hook the leg.
It's just a hodgepodge of emotions. Everything is built up to this moment.
For Nigel, this moment's been a year in the making.
It's scary to say it, but this is probably the biggest night of my life.
Certain people can't walk and chew gum at the same time. And I think maybe during your first professional wrestling match, you feel that every step of the way.
As scripted, Nigel lands his super kick and gets his career off on the right foot.
To really be able to make the crowd scream at you or boo you without them even realizing that you're getting them to do it. It's magic. It's magic.
Good job, man.
You strive for something so long, you know, and you think, if I never make it, it'll be a tragedy. Maybe that's the beauty of it, that I'm still chasing it. And I will always be chasing it.
But maybe not forever. Last month, Nigel's temporary visa ran out, and he was forced to return to Britain. As for Shark Boy, he was recently cut from the WCW power plant roster. You can talk online with him and with Les Thatcher right after our program tonight. Just go to our website, abcnews.com at 11 o'clock Eastern Time.